So there. And imagine taking that in. That because we value gold. Gold is considered an object of value. And high value. But so it's something worthwhile to have. And to take it in to your mind and your body, all the intelligence of your being, to remember there is value in me. There is great, and I don't have to defend it. And I don't have to have it recognized by others. But I do have to have it recognized by me. I must recognize my value if I am to use it to think true thoughts. I must recognize my value and not, mitigate it. Because of things I've done in the past. Because of things, events, circumstances where I've been confused. About on the days I forgot I was good. I want to read something to you that I wrote next door in the church of B.J. Ryan's. Lots of wisdom comes through me. B.J. Ryan's and the McCafe. Half of my book has been written over an iced tea in the McCafe. What I wrote here, there is nothing we have ever done that could make us hated by God. There is no thing we have ever done that could make us hated by God. And when I say we, I mean the collective we. Just because I forgot yesterday doesn't mean I'm forgetting today. Today I am choosing to remember there is nothing so hateful that has been done by any of us that we could not be loved by God, the truth which created us. And it's funny, I wrote the problem with religion, and then I said, actually, there is no problem with religion. There is a problem with the people who have claimed to be seeking spirit when really they want to make their problems real. What if your problems weren't real? And I ask that of every one of us here today. What if your problems weren't real? They were just an experience. What if what you perceive as a problem is just an experience? One that could easily be, we'll use the word solved, with the awareness of God, with a desire to know the truth in it. Now granted, I will have to give up being right about it. I will have to give up my idea of loss in it. I will have to sacrifice that. But that's no sacrifice because it's not real. There is no sacrifice to that. What if there was nothing missing from your life except your unwillingness to see love in this and all situations? And my thought about the churches is they all started with the right idea. And they gave in to all the people who kept saying, but see my problems as real. See my sickness as real. See my poverty as real and unsolvable. See my pain and suffering as something vital and valuable. And the churches gave in and said, fine, that's what we'll do. Said, we'll pray about your misery. We'll try to help you, poor things. What if that's the only problem that ever came up with religion? And we made the unreal real. Because we forgot that all pain and suffering could be eradicated. All ignorance could be eradicated. We forgot that, and so we just sought to make our misery manageable. Sought to make our suffering not quite so hard. Sought to make something unreal real. And it has found itself lost, trying to heal sickness, and ended up convincing itself that healing is impossible for most, or so just trying to manage the misery associated with sickness, poverty, and harmony. And then it came out, Jesus, in his awakened state, sought to show us that sickness is not real when he touched the leper, who who was not supposed to be touched. He showed us sickness is not a reality and can be eradicated in an instant. All sickness, bodily, mentally, financially, and most importantly, spiritually, can be healed in an instant. What's more, you don't have to be well behaved to experience these natural conditions. The power within that joins with the power that is doesn't discriminate by behavior, merely by thought. And so, you see, we've come here for a journey. We've created this and each other in our lives for a journey. And we come up here to find and discover how the journey could be good all the time. I'm not saying feel good all the time. I'm saying is good all the time in ways we have not yet considered. The 12 steps have a wonderful promise that says we will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. It's a nice promise. Another promise is fear of financial insecurity will leave us. Another promise is we will see how our past can benefit others, no matter how far down the line we have gone, no matter how much we have forgotten of our good. We can help others. And in helping others, we help ourselves. So you see, our lives really are to be of service. Not drudgery, but service. And there's no greater service than being the one who has healed. That was Jesus' gift. He had a healing. He had a healing in his mind. Went into the wilderness. He went into the unknown in his thinking and said, okay, there is an invisible presence that I'm going to call Abba, which means Daddy. I'm going to call Father. And I'm going to use this invisible presence to know that I'm good. You know, because you have that intuition. You have that gut feeling. That gut feeling that there is something good here. And I don't really know what it is, and I can't explain it. But I'm going to go with it and see what happens. That's what happened with Myrtle and Charles Fillmore. Myrtle, the Unity's co-founders, Myrtle went with it much quicker than Charles did, but Charles Fillmore, you know, he said, these people around me are healing. I don't understand. I don't know what they're doing. I see that they say they're praying, but what does that mean? And he went to several teachers and said, what does it mean to say they're praying? And my wife is getting well. She was supposed to die a few months ago, and she's getting well. I don't get it. And all the teachers told him different things. And that's when he said, in this cacophony of voices, there must be a way to communicate directly with the source, or the whole thing is a fraud. So he sat down to communicate directly with God, the highest voice. He sat in his rocking chair every night and he took on some nice thought. And he rocked. And for months, nothing happened. Nothing happened. And then one day he was closing up a real estate deal and realized he had dreamt the entire thing from start to finish the night before. And that was his idea of connection. I'm willing to bet each and every one of you here have had moments of synchronicity that you could not explain. They were not flukes of nature. They were not a miracle that only happened because you were lucky. Miracles are just everyday events that we don't understand. Today's Course in Miracles lesson is my thoughts about anything I see doesn't mean anything. And I've read that lesson before, and I didn't understand it. Today I did. What it means is my thoughts about what I don't like and what I do like don't mean anything, because truth is still going to be true. I'm not going to alter God one bit by what I think about God. And I'm not going to alter you or you one bit with what I think about you. And I'm not going to alter me one bit with what I think about me. Whether I like me or don't like me, whether I like you or don't like you. I'm not going to alter the truth of your being one bit. But I will shift my experience in this body a lot. when I begin to agree with God, when I begin to agree with love, when I begin to agree with wisdom, when I begin to agree, when I forgive, when I give forth for a new thought. I'd like you to pick up your pen and use the small piece of paper. There you have two pieces of paper. You have a big piece. You'd think I wouldn't have to explain this, but I've been to this rodeo before. Use the small piece of paper and your pen. You can probably manage to use there's extra papers around here if anybody's missing any. And this small piece of paper is the one we're going to burn. Don't write anything yet. Don't think you know. I'd like you to write at the top of it, the forgiveness I'm willing to experience in my thoughts. What do you need? You need one? Here we go. Here we go. There's lots. Oh, yeah, give you one. Great. Save this for the next person who doesn't have one. We're good, Carol. I am willing to experience in my thoughts, because you see, that's the only place where forgiveness needs to be experienced. It's in my thinking. The experience, or the forgiveness, I'm willing to experience in my thoughts. Because you see, forgiveness isn't something I do. It's something I experience. And the people, places, and situations you're about to put down on this paper are not heinous morons who haven't agreed with you. They are people who have served you so far in your journey. They are situations that have served you so far in your journey. And what I'd like you to look at before you put them down on your paper is to ask yourself, am I willing to have a new thought, a true thought about this person, this situation, this place, this part of my past? Go ahead. Stop. Let's give thanks now as we send our forgiveness forward into the as yet undiscovered. Knowing that this activity, this commitment we just made, is part of freeing ourselves for a new God thought, for a brand new God thought. And so now I invite you to pick up your big piece of paper. And at the top, write the date, December 1st, 2015. December 1st, 2015. You clear on that? December 1st, 2015. And what we're going to do in this letter has brought about mass confusion in so many churches. And so very many churches. It is not a magic letter. It is not a fortune-telling letter. So I have heard reports this year when people, after December 1st, people received their letter, Shawn, everything I wrote happened. And other people said, not one thing on this list came true. What it is it's a letter of gratitude to yourself. So you can write, dear, and put your name down. It's a letter of gratitude for what you see as possible for you to experience this year. For you to see yourself. Remember, all time and space is now. I highly recommend you put one thing down that you absolutely know is going to take place. And if that's you're going to get up out of bed on Monday, January 5th, and you'd say, thank you God that I got out of bed January 5th. You know, dear Shawn, I'm so glad I got out of bed on January 5th because, man, that was the day that started the rest of my year after I wrote the letter. What a generous thing to give yourself. See, you're not the judge of your events. Yes, many of us would like to experience nice cars, nice homes, nice relationships, money, cash, prizes, all that sort of thing. How are you planning to know God this year? What is your commitment for your spiritual life this year? Well, how do you see yourself at the end of this year in your relationship with God, in your relationship with yourself? You know, it's one thing to try to change the world, but the world's not going to change till I change the inside. And the power within me is where? Within. So I invite you to let your letter to yourself be a letter of gratitude for your relationship with God as you see it today and at the end of this year. I invite that to become your letter. Go ahead and start writing. When you're finished, put it in your envelope, address it to yourself, and then I have a basket up here where it can go.